Hey guys, this is Nathan from RunDreamAchieve.com. Hope you all are having a great weekend. Today's topic, we're going to be discussing how to run a 10K in under 40 minutes. So if you're an athlete that is currently, say you're in the mid 40s, or maybe you're even above 50 minutes for the 10K, your main focus now is to be able to sustain 10 kilometers at 3:59 per K or 6 minutes and 26 seconds per mile for 6.2 miles. And you definitely can do it. There's no question whatsoever. If obviously if you're closer to this goal of breaking 40 minutes for the 10K, it's going to be somewhat easier for you, but it's still going to be a challenge because, as you know, if say you're like at 42 minutes and you're trying to get to 39:59, that's still a solid drop in time that you have to make in order to break this 40-minute barrier. If you're 50 minutes or you're 49 minutes and change, you know you got some work to do. So what I wanted to do with this video is just one, let you know that you absolutely can do it. This is a goal and this is an achievement that a lot of athletes, middle distance to long distance runners, are seeking, that do achieve, and there's no reason why you can't either. I talk a lot about in other videos that it's really about training in such a way to get that race pace to feel more manageable. I mean, race pace in and of itself is going to be a challenge, and it's going to hurt, and it's going to take mental focus in order to sustain that pace for your entire race, no matter how fit you are. So it's absolutely critical to train at paces that are much, much faster than your goal 10K race pace, so that you can get that 6:26 mile pace or 3:59 per K pace to feel reasonably hard, not so much like a sprint. And that's how it's going to feel when you're early on in your training. All of the workouts hurt, the tempo runs hurt, you're not as anaerobically fit, so you can't sustain even anaerobic threshold effort, which is the point where we start to build up lactic acid in our bloodstream. Even for a couple miles, it hurts for even running at that particular effort. But as you get fitter, you definitely can sustain anaerobic threshold effort for longer periods of time, and that is the key. When you're trying to break a 40-minute 10K, it's a very competitive time, so you have to train anaerobically, and you also have to pay attention to your recovery. So on RunDreamAchieve.com, also I have a training plan that is built specifically for athletes trying to run under 40 minutes for the 10K. And the key workouts in that particular training plan are 1 mile repetitions, 2 mile repetitions. We focus on speed, where we're working more on the VO2 max level, where you're training at your aerobic capacity, where you're training at paces that are so fast that you simply can't sustain the lactic acid buildup. So you can only spend a few seconds to a few minutes at these efforts. But we focus on progression, okay? So the training programs, as well as the running courses that are on RunDreamAchieve.com, are all based around periodization. And periodization is simply segmenting your training in 3-week to 4-week blocks. And then as you get fitter anaerobically, then we start focusing on faster anaerobic efforts and minimizing the recovery between those efforts. Because in a race, especially in the 10K, it's more of an anaerobic event because it's still somewhat shorter as opposed to like the half marathon or the marathon distance. But we do a combination of training at VO2 max, which is we do that once per week, where you're training at paces that are so fast. It's examples of that are 200s, 300s, 400s, any type of effort where really it's just a matter of seconds to a matter of several minutes that you're spending at that particular effort. You want to train at that effort because that will make your goal race pace feel that much easier. So there's a lot of things that go into breaking a 40-minute 10K. You have to get to a point where you get comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's easier said than done, but you have to extend the amount of time you're training on your feet. So you want to extend the distance of your long run as well. Getting to a point where you can get that long run out to 10 miles or longer for the long run, preferably out to around 15 miles. So and that's just easy distance. So, and again, also, you don't want to focus just on, especially if you're trying to break a 40-minute 10K, don't focus just on long, slow distance runs each weekend. All of my training programs and my running courses, we focus on alternating one long hard run where we vary up the paces of the long run, and the following week is nice, easy, relaxed jogging during that long run. So it's absolutely critical if you're running to run 39:59 or faster for the 10K. You push the body hard anaerobically, but you also have to have that discipline to slow down and train aerobically, so you're recovering from those hard workouts you're doing. Examples of the types of workouts that we do in the training plan that I've built up, and again, the training plans and the running courses on RunDreamAchieve.com are really based around 3 decades of my own background in the sport. Basically everything I teach in those courses and on the training plans are based around the training that I've learned, the training philosophy that I've learned from some of the world's top distance running coaches that were mentors of mine and coaches of mine that I worked with personally. Lisa Rainsberger, the 1985 Boston Marathon champion, she coached me for 3 years when I was with the Army World Class Athlete Program. Jack Hazen, who has been at Malone University now for about 52 years. He's one of the world's top distance running coaches. He was very big on heart rate monitor training. So I teach heart rate monitor training as well in the running courses, and I base it around the training plans, because you want to training heart with your heart rate monitor it makes the preparation easier because you're focusing more on the effort. You're focusing on your heart rate. You're not focusing so much on splits or kilometer splits or mile splits, and you're focusing more on the effort itself. So as you get more anaerobically fit, your heart doesn't have to work as hard. Your heart rate will be lower at the same paces that they were, when you weren't very anaerobically fit. Your speed is going to increase, your pace is going to increase, but your heart rate's going to be around the same effort. So early on, when you're doing a tempo run and you're holding your heart rate around 88 to 90% of your maximum heart rate early on in the stages of your training, and say you're running 720 mile pace or around 410 kilometer pace early on, and your heart rate is there. As you get fitter, your heart's not going to have to work as hard. It's going to become, obviously you're stronger, you're more anaerobically fit. That same heart rate 8 weeks down the line, you're going to be running, say, 645 mile pace or like 354 to 355 per kilometer pace. So the paces are going to drop and get faster, but you're still going to be running at the same effort in terms of your heart rate. So that's one of the things that's really helpful, especially if you're trying to break a specific time, such as the 10K, in under 40 minutes. You're focusing on training at paces that are much faster than race pace. So training well below 6-minute mile pace, well below 3 minutes and 45 seconds per K pace, or faster. That's how, even in my own training, ending up running 14:18 for 5K, 31:09 for 10K, 2:19 for the marathon, 1:07:06 for the half. I was always focusing on, okay, what is my goal race pace, and what do I need to get that race pace to feel sustainable, where I can hold it and be able to slow down less than my competition. And that's what you want to be focusing on when as you're preparing for your 10K here in 2021, or if you're watching this video, years into the future. The same principle is going to apply. It doesn't matter if you're a miler or you're a marathon specialist. The same training principles and fundamentals have to be followed in order to drop time. You have to get your race pace to feel easier, not as aggressive. And that takes training like I said, that takes training once per week at your VO2 max. It's, if you're trying to go under 40 minutes for the 10K, I would recommend getting that tempo run where you're training at your anaerobic threshold. Get that that AT run out to around between 5 and 7 miles in length, or even if you can get it out to 8 miles. Those are the things you have to always keep in mind. So examples of the types of workouts you need to be thinking about is being able to do 200s, repeat 200s between 43 and 46 seconds, 400s between 1 minute and 25 seconds to 1 minute and 32 seconds. Obviously the faster quarters and the faster 200s and faster 800s, regardless of what the rep is, that's going to come as you become more anaerobically fit. You want to start off moderately difficult efforts, and then allow your body time to adapt to the anaerobic workouts you're doing, and then you move on to the faster workouts, and then you start dropping your rest in between those training sessions. Mile repeats. You want to get to a point where early on, when you're not as anaerobically fit, starting off between around about 85% of your fastest mile time. So just for example, starting around 6:05 to 6 minutes and 10 seconds per repetition on the track. If you can get to 5 to 6 1-mile reps around 6:05 to 6:10. And then, like I said, as you get fitter and you become more anaerobically fit, you want to drop that down to around 5 minutes and 42 seconds to 5 minutes and 45 seconds per repetition. And early on, you might need 3 to 4 minutes of rest. Allow yourself time to adapt. So as you get fitter, then you want to drop it down to a point where you can do a mile repetition with only a 2-minute recovery between each rep. So again, it's always thinking about periodization, allowing your time, being patient, allowing time to recover in between each of those hard workouts, and that will get you to that sub 40-minute 10K you're looking for. Obviously, don't neglect any of the other pieces that go into great middle to long distance racing. And that takes, examples of that are proper rest, hydrating well before and after your workouts, making sure that you're paying attention to the things your competition, I guarantee you, are not looking at. Are they how often are you mentally rehearsing yourself running under 40 minutes for the 10K? Do you see yourself, do you visualize yourself, just closing your eyes each day, seeing yourself coming across the finish line and with a 39 something on the clock? These are the things that I was doing when I was training for like I said, about 3 decades. I was always focusing on what are the areas my competition is not doing. That's what's going to make you dangerous. That's what's going to make you a sub 40-minute 10K athlete. So wherever you are, whether that's 50 minutes or you're 45 minutes right now, or you're closer to that sub 40-minute 10K barrier, be thinking about these things. Train at below race pace. Train at your anaerobic threshold. You're going to be able to sustain your AT pace for longer periods of time because it's not so fast that you're redlining, but it's difficult enough that it's going to challenge you mentally and physically. So you want to train at that effort, but you also want to jog and you want to be able to recover from what you're doing. The benefits of your hard work are going to occur from the rest period. So do not neglect that if you're wanting to become a 39, 59 or faster 10K athlete. You got to pay attention to the things, and like I said, the things that you're doing off the track and on the track, off the roads and off the roads, and paying attention to those easy days because they are where your benefits come from. The rest, making sure you're getting plenty of rest, not stressing over the things that are outside of your control. Don't worry about it. If the weather's bad, your competition is going to have to deal with it as well. So let them worry about it. Let them stress out about it, not you. You have to be mentally strong up here. It takes a mentally tough athlete to break a sub 40 10K, and it doesn't matter what your particular distance is or what type of time you're running. Mental toughness is even more critical to middle to long distance running success than just the physical preparation. You have to be tough mentally. So rehearse this over and over each day. See yourself getting across that finish line and performing in the race like you want over and over and over again. And do this for, routinely every single day for weeks, for days on end, weeks on end, months on end, and you will get to this goal. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave me a comment below this video. Obviously, I'm not the only resource on YouTube, okay? I've had about 3 decades of experience. I've run times that are respectable for a lot of people believe are respectable based on many years of hard work. It didn't happen overnight. So I understand where you guys and gals are at in your training. I understand the frustrations and the time commitment and what you have to deal with. So stay the course. Be persistent. Stay focused on what you're wanting to do. Stay motivated. Don't let up when you have setbacks, and you will get under sub 40 for the 10K. And like I said, I do have training programs and running courses on RunDreamAchieve.com. There are resources below all of these videos, so definitely check those out. If you're brand new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so when I make a new video, you'll be notified. And if there's anything else I can do for you all, feel free to leave me a comment, whether it's a good or bad comment. I don't care. I will respond to your questions and concerns. If you have a topic or something you want me to go a little bit more in depth in, feel free to comment below, and I will definitely reach out to you. I always respond, as you all know. And I really appreciate your comments and hearing from you all and how your training's going. means a lot to me because it gives me an indication of what you're aiming for and where you're at and what you need to do, and maybe I can help improve some leak in your training that will help you get to the next level. So I hope you all have a great rest of your day and training in terms of your training for the week as well, and I will talk to you all in the next video.